Hello friends, and welcome back to this course titled as Introduction to Indian Writing in English. Friends, we were discussing Unit 9 in the last class. Unit 9 consists a very important text. The name of the text is Untouchable. The writer of this novel Untouchable is Mulk Raj Anand. In the last class, we discussed the plot of this text Untouchable. In today's class, we will start discussion on the characterization, the various characters, and how those characters are able to define and justify the role and their contribution in creating the structure of this novel. But before discussing characterization, let us know that what we are going to learn from this lecture, or what will be the outcome for this lecture. Analyze the role of various characters in the formation of the novel. Friends, there are various characters in this novel, and all the characters form the novel. The structure of the novel or the formation of the novel. And when you are able to understand the role of all these characters, you would be able to understand the complete formation, how the writer has formed this novel. So, without wasting any time, let us begin discussion on the characterization. The first character in the novel is Bakha. Bakha is the protagonist. Although he is vulnerable, but he has the passion to change his circumstances. He is helpless, but can be considered as a protagonist of this novel. His father's name is Rakha. Let us first talk about Bakha, and then we will talk about Rakha. An 18-year-old Indian youth, Bakha is a sweeper and the protagonist of Untouchable. Friends, I told you in the last class also that Bakha is an 18-year-old young chap, energetic, tough built, but he is a sweeper, thus untouchable. He is strong and able bodied. He is fascinated by the life and ways of India's English colonizers. Well, friends, although Bakha is illiterate, Bakha is ignorant, but even then he knows that India is under the British rule, British colonizers. And thus he thinks about the impact of British rule over India. His position as an untouchable has resulted in high levels of self-deprecation and depression. Well, friends, what Bakha had achieved from the Indian social and cultural structure, he has achieved humiliation, depression, self-deprecation. Why? Because of his position as an untouchable. So, can we say that Bakha was in support of British colonized movement, or he was also, let's say, associated with Indian national movement? Maybe not physically, but to an extent he also need the freedom from the British government. It is not sure. Bakha can be judgmental and at times helps perpetuate the very system that keeps him oppressed. Friends, Bakha is a human being. He can think, he can believe, he can form opinions, and thus he knows that he is oppressed. He is judgmental. He can judge, he can imagine, but he cannot change his life. Paradoxically, he still questions the status quo and challenges a caste system that is supposedly set in stone. Well, friends, caste system was the ultimate reality of the Indian society at the time of Bakha. Caste system was just like set in stone. Set in stone means something which cannot be changed, which is fixed. But even then, Bakha had some questions. Bakha wanted to challenge this caste system. And thus, we can say that Bakha's appearance is proved to be of a protagonist. There is a definition, there is a quotation which will help you in explaining, understanding that how much critical the situation of untouchables was. When Bakha used to travel on a public road between the people, he used to utter this sentence, "Posh, keep away, posh, sweeper coming, posh, posh, sweeper coming, posh, posh, sweeper coming." So, these kind of sentences, they are spoken by the untouchables when they are moving at a public place. Why they are, let's say, announcing their presence or announcing their movement towards a direction, so that people might not touch them. People might not touch them, maybe, let's say, without knowing, or maybe, let's say, knowingly, because touching an untouchable is going to pollute a person of the upper caste. This is how Bakha announced his entry into populated areas every morning so that people do not knock against him accidentally. Even if a person knocks at an untouchable accidentally, the person in return beats the untouchable. The untouchable will be humiliated from a mob, from a crowd, calling him as something disgraceful. However, the question sometimes weighs heavily on his heart when his conscience seeks an answer and he says, "For them I am a sweeper, sweeper, untouchable, untouchable, untouchable. That's the word, untouchable. I am an untouchable." Well, friends, this sentence is coming from the heart and soul of Bakha. He is trying to find out the questions of the answers, that why is he untouchable? Why has he been born in this community of sweepers, latrine cleaners? But he had not stopped thinking. He want to think. He want to question to the entire Indian caste system and the common people, that why are they behaving with him in this manner? We have another character whose name is Chhota. Now, Chhota is the son of a leather worker. His father is Mochi. Chhota is one of Bakha's best friend. Though they are of the outcast class, Chhota is higher than Bakha in the caste system's hierarchy. Like Bakha, he is also obsessed with the English. Friends, Bakha was obsessed with the British ways of living, how colonizers used to behave in a civilized manner in the Indian society. In the same way, his best friend Chhota, whose caste is little higher than that of Bakha, is also obsessed. Both the friends used to talk about Britishers in isolation. So, we can understand that the hierarchy level was maintained not only in the upper castes or the upper caste and the lower caste, but the hierarchy level is also there in the lower caste. The latrine cleaners or the sweepers are at the most bottom position in this group. We have next as Ram Charan. Ram Charan is the washer's son and Bakha's other best friend. He is also higher in hierarchy than Bakha because his family only washes other people's clothes. Friends, Ram Charan, although he is also from the lower community, but his father was a washer, dhobi, and in the hierarchy he is also little higher than that of Bakha. The worst work is done by Bakha in his profession, that is cleaning the latrines of the villagers. We have next character as Rakha, Jamadar of the sweepers. Jamadar of the sweepers means Rakha is the leader of all the sweepers. He is most reputed and recognized person in the community of sweepers. He is Bakha's father. He is a lazy, abusive man that takes advantage of his children. So friends, Rakha is a lazy person. He do not want to work. So he has a son and a daughter, and then he asks them in the morning itself to wake up and go for work and earn some food for him. He resents Bakha's obsession with the English and urges Bakha to be satisfied with their family's lot in life as untouchables and sweepers. Friend, this person, Rakha, he is a demotivated person. And he always tries to demotivate his son also. He used to say that why is his son thinking about the Britishers? He must, let's say, be satisfied into the stature of an untouchable or a sweeper, because this is what their destiny is, to live and work in the latrines and to die in the very same latrine. We have another character, Rakha. Rakha is Bakha's younger brother, somewhat of a foil of Bakha's character. He is described as a true child of the outcast colony. Friends, Rakha, he is a true child of the outcast colony. It means he was pretty satisfied from his position. But somehow he has the character of Bakha. He also sometimes thinks that what is going on with their community with them. We have next character as Sohini. Sohini is the younger sister of Bakha. She is the third child of Rakha. Bakha's younger sister Sohini is described as nubile and beautiful. Patient and resilient, she bears the brunt of her family's frustration. Her altercation with the member of high caste is one cause of Bakha's existentialist woe. Friends, many people of the upper class, they had an eye on Sohini. They wanted to make physical relationship with Sohini. But she was a genuine girl, sincere girl, believed in performing all her duties as a female kid in the family. So, we can understand that in this downtrodden community, the females were twice exploited, not only because of their religion, their caste, but also because they are females. We have another character as Hawaldar Charat Singh. He is one of Bakha's heroes. Why? Bakha appreciated Charat Singh a lot, and Charat Singh do not believe much in the caste system, and Bakha likes to talk to him. He is one of Bakha's heroes. Singh is the famous hockey player. His personality is jocular, his mood extremely changeable. At the beginning of the novel, he harangues Bakha to clean the latrines, but later on he gives Bakha a brand new hockey stick. So friends, Charat Singh also calls Bakha to clean his latrines at his house. But he is also, let's say, respecting and affectionate towards Bakha. He promises to give a hockey stick to Bakha, and he gives that to him. So, he do not treats Bakha as an animal or a servant, but there are, let's say, mood swings, changes in mood, which are, let's say, visible in the personality of Hawaldar Charat Singh. His willingness to share his afternoon tea with Bakha illustrates his lack of belief in untouchability. Well, friends, this person, Hawaldar Charat Singh, he offers Bakha to come to his house and accepts a tea with him, which was a very big task, which was a very big, let's say, act in such an orthodox society where untouchables are not even touched in the through the people of the upper caste. We have another character in the story whose name is Ali. He is a young man of Bakha's age group. Ali is the son of regimental bandsman and Muslim. Bakha asks him questions about Islamic practices and is accused of insulting a religion. Friends, Bakha was curious to know about other religions. That was his attitude. And we can say that when Bakha tried to ask questions about Muslim religion from Ali, in innocence, Ali got offended. He thought that Bakha is insulting his religion and putting Hindu religion as superior to Muslim. We have another character as Ramananda. He is described by Bakha as a peevish old black money lender. Ramananda is of a higher class than Bakha. He interrupts Bakha's morning musing by shouting at him to clean the latrines. Well, friends, Ramananda is, let's say, epitome of the common people who used to abuse untouchables every day. So there is nothing different in the personality of Ramananda and how he is behaving with, let's say, the Bakha and other untouchables in the society. We have other character whose name is Gulabo. Gulabo is a washerwoman. Gulabo is Ram Charan's mother. She has a superiority complex because she has a high place in the hierarchy of the low caste or outcast. She resents Bakha's friendship with her son and hates Sohini. Well, friends, Gulabo, although she is also from the inferior caste, other caste, but she thinks herself as superior to Bakha and his community. Because she used to wash clothes, she hates Bakha. She always instructs her son, who is friend of Bakha, not to meet with him, not to talk to him, not to touch him. And this lady Gulabo also hates Sohini, who is the sister of Bakha. We have another character named as Pandit Kalinath. Pandit Kalinath, friends, is a kind of a villain, stereotypical Pandit who always had an eye on the beautiful women in the village. He is one of the priests in charge of the temple in Bulle Shah, the town Bakha and his family live outside of. He sexually assaults Sohini and then accuses her of defiling him. Friends, there is one incident when Bakha comes back to home. He wanted to drink some water, asks Sohini, his sister, to bring some water. Sohini goes near the well. This Pandit Kalinath was standing there. He filled the water in the bucket of Sohini in lieu of cleaning the local temple on the next day. On the next day, when Sohini went there and started cleaning the temple, this Pandit Kalinath tries to sexually abuse her, thinking that there is no one there. Sohini and he are in isolation. But then Sohini refuses to accept his offer. And finally, Pandit Kalinath starts shouting on her, saying that she has polluted him. We have another character whose name is Lakshman. He is a Hindu water carrier. He is 26 years old and attracted to Sohini. Just like young boys and girls, a kind of casual, let's say, attraction this Lakshman had towards Sohini. Then we have Hakeem Bhagwandas. Hakeem Bhagwandas, he is a local doctor. Hakeem Bhagwan saved Bakha's life when he was a small child. So Bakha's father is very, let's say, grateful to Hakeem Bhagwandas. He is a local doctor in the village. The name of the village is Bulle Shah, where the complete story is set. Then we have Ram Charan's sister. Ram Charan's sister is Bakha's childhood crush. Bakha liked her. Ram Charan's sister is the symbol of the thing Bakha is barred from because of his low status in the caste system. Although Ram Charan also belonged to the lower caste, but his community is little higher than of Bakha. So Bakha don't even think of proposing Ram Charan's sister. He is afraid that his family is going to rebuke Bakha and his father. So you can understand, friends, that how much, let's say, restrictions of religion and caste were there in the society. Then we have Colonel Hutchinson. He is a chief of the local Salvation Army. Hutchinson is a Christian missionary tasked with converting Hindus to Christianity. The face of the Christian religion in the novel, he symbolizes one facet of England's colonization of India. Friends, this Colonel Hutchinson, he is a local caretaker of the church, and his target is to convert the lower caste Hindus into Christians. He also tries to persuade Bakha, but Bakha refuses to leave his religion, Hinduism, and being converted to Christianity. We have another character who is wife of Colonel Hutchinson. Her name is Mary Hutchinson. Mary is a colonel's irreligious wife. So Mary do not believe much in the religion and the propaganda with which Colonel Hutchinson is there in that area. Miserable about their life in India, she constantly demeans and disparages her husband's work among Indian people, whom she refers to as blackies. Now, Mary Hutchinson, she calls Indians as blackies. She believed in the concept that Britishers are superior to Indians. She wanted to go back to England, but she had no choice but to live with her husband. We have another character, most famous Mahatma Gandhi, in this novel. One of the several real life people alluded to or featured in Untouchable, Gandhi was one of the leaders of India's independence movement. In the novel, his purpose is to offer a religious, moral, and political denunciation of untouchability. Friends, Mahatma Gandhi had to convey a message in this novel. He offers the religious enlightenment, the moral character, and the political denunciation, the political way to get the power which these untouchables can get from the community itself. So, Gandhi is an epitome of revolutionary person in this novel. We have another character whose name is R.N. Bashir. R.N. Bashir is an Indian lawyer that studied at Oxford. Bashir is highly critical of Gandhi and the Marxist solution suggested by Sarsar. So, R.N. Bashir, he is a, let's say, intellectual. He is studied from Oxford and he is highly critical to Gandhi and the Marxist solutions of the problem. We have another character whose name is Mirabin Slade. Another real life person that makes an appearance in the novel. Mirabin was the daughter of British admiral. She left Britain to work at Gandhi's side for India's independence in 1925. In the novel, she also accompanies Gandhi during his visit to Bakha's town. So, she was a minor character following Gandhi and always, let's say, in the company of Gandhi. When he is, let's say, he was giving the speech in Bakha's town, she was present with Mahatma Gandhi, helping her. We have another character whose name is Iqbal Nath Sarsar. Now, what is his role in the novel? Let us read it. He is a young poet who defends Gandhi despite his misgiving about the revolutionary political and economic views. Sarsar offers up a Marxist interpretation of the plight of the untouchables and suggests a Marxist solution. Friends, this person Iqbal, he is a Marxist and he refused the Gandhi's ways of changing the status of these, let's say, untouchables. He wanted a revolution to happen in the Indian politics and Indian economics. So, he is, let's say, little bit different in his approach to Gandhi, but he was also seriously thinking of, let's say, improving the status of untouchables into Indian community. So, friends, after discussing all these characters, I hope that now you can understand that untouchable is a complete package of the Indian society. We have in this novel thinkers from the lower caste like Bakha. We have in this novel a love angle also. We have in this novel Marxists, revolutionary people. We have in this novel reformists like Mahatma Gandhi. And we have in this novel the females who are twice colonized into the Indian caste system. I hope that now you would be able to understand the complete structure of the novel. That is all for today. Thank you so much.